Welcome back to Radio Days here in Malmo, Sweden, and Sam and Teresa are with me. They've just come out of a talk about new talent, nurturing talent. You know, the interesting thing is, you know, in the past, especially in the UK, in Ireland too, you would have people who wanted to be radio stars in their bedrooms, listening to pirate radio, whatever the case may be. Now young people want to be on YouTube and they want to be on TikTok. They're not necessarily going out wanting to be radio stars. How do you attract them, first of all, even to the industry?
Well, I tell you what, there are still people that want to be on the radio, and I think in the UK that we find a lot of those people come through student radio. There's a growing school radio scene, and I think, but one of the things that we have to do is broaden the term radio to include podcasting and to include other things with audio. I think if you separate those out and consider that they need different approaches at that very start level, I don't think that's helpful. And so it might be that people don't really, you know, that they're really into making podcasts, they're really into listening to podcasts, and they think it's a completely different set of skills to go into radio. There's some deviation, but the core of it is communicating through audio, and I think there's a lot of young people that still really do like that.
Is there room for people still in the radio industry? We'll focus on the UK at the moment because that's your area of expertise, but nowadays I know that a lot of radio stations across the UK are looking to what's hot on social media and who is, and taking them and putting them on the radio and kind of hoping it works. Whereas, you know, the olden days, again, I go back to people who just kind of worked for free in the radio station and worked their way up. It's less of that and more of, if you have a lot of followers, you have more of a chance of getting a radio show nowadays.
Yeah, well, a lot of followers perhaps, but also a lot of creative ideas, I think. And I don't know that not all radio stations are looking to kind of magpie the people that have got ready-made fan bases. Plenty of people do, I guess, take that approach, but I think radio stations are looking for people that have got raw talent that can be shaped. And you know, so before I ran the Radio Academy, I used to work at the BBC, I used to work at Radio 1, and I used to work a lot in digital content, and we were constantly adjusting our recruitment, and this is about not just on-air talent but behind-the-scenes talent as well. We were constantly adjusting our recruitment to kind of try to recognise that there are people that have got really interesting ideas, that have got a kind of self-starting attitude, that are kind of, I mean, when it was 10 years ago, it was like, are they blogging, you know, are they, how much are they tweeting? I mean, now obviously it might be more about Instagram, TikTok and other things. Are they making videos? And
that's the thing, so they are looking to say
it's
what
multi-skill.
kind of... Yeah.
I mean, I don't think, certainly in youth radio, I don't think that you can be completely isolated and just on the radio. I don't think any youth brand thinks that's a good idea. It's still the core product. My old boss used to call it the train that pulls the carriages. It's still the core product, but you obviously want somebody that knows how to use digital platforms and engage audiences, and you're always on, I think. As a youth radio presenter, you're always on. You don't just kind of close the fader at 1 o'clock and that's the end, you know. You've got another 23 hours of the day.
Keep that conversation going, that engagement. Yeah, it's fascinating. Let's go over to Teresa here from the Emerald Isle, my home country. Teresa, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
All we need is a cup of tea here and
yes,
it's complete.
To be sorted, yeah.
I'm almost fascinated by the Irish market, knowing it quite well, that for such a small country, particularly the youth inside of it is so saturated. I don't mean that in a bad sense, but are they finding it more and more challenging to engage the younger audiences and to bring up young talent in you know, so many regional youth stations, the national ones as well?
Yeah, I suppose, look, they are struggling. There is that perception out there that young people don't listen to radio. But what we've been finding through the programmes that we're designing and developing for young people who are looking to get into radio is that they do listen to radio, or through the programmes that we run, we're immersing them in all things radio and giving them the opportunity to experience what a radio station does. It's not just about the on-air content anymore. There's so many other opportunities that radio stations can provide to younger people who are looking to get into the space, and they may be good at creating digital content, but there's digital content platforms for radio stations as well too.
And what's working? What's the selling point when you're saying to someone in their 20s, oh yeah, check out my, you know, Spin or iRadio, when they're saying, well, yeah, because I love all the music, but I can listen to that music on Spotify or YouTube whenever I want. Why the hell am I going to go to FM and turn on the radio?
I think they're finding that it's more engaging. It's more, you know, it's about the people that are in the radio stations. It's about the process, and they're finding out that they can be more creative. The craft of storytelling that they really learn about, particularly when we bring them in on the programmes and show them how a piece of radio content is created, how it's developed. We offer them opportunities through our TY Media Week as well, to come into a radio station and they meet the heroes that they've always listened to or want to listen to, and they meet them, they get their photos taken with them, and they really, really, you know, are immersed in all things radio and come out really really with a really, really different perception of what radio is.
It is a great lesson in storytelling, isn't it? Because you don't have the aid of graphics and video, and people I work with in television often say, you know, that person started their career in radio just because of the attention to audio and the story. So the local stations as well, still vitally important in Ireland. I know 30-something radio stations across the country.
Yeah, we work with the independent radio sector. There's 31 radio stations there, and you know, the span from Donegal to Kerry and right back up again to Dublin, and local radio stations hugely important.
Because that's where they normally start, the young people,
that's
isn't it?
That's
where
they
start,
the stepping stone. They played a huge role during COVID in terms of, you know, information and telling, I suppose, information that the people could rely on, that people trusted, and we've seen that in some research that we did, that people came back to the radio stations for trusted and reliable information, particularly during COVID-19. But local radio playing a huge and vital part of the media landscape in Ireland, and we're aiming to work with, or we are working with all of those stations, bringing in TY students, bringing in journalism graduates, and really immersing them in all things local radio in Ireland.
Thank you both so very much.
Thank you.